kill the bell end. I just have to compose myself. Hey, what's up you guys? Yes, and welcome to another video with me and Rochelle talking about mental health.
Following on from Appendix 1, we said we'd do Appendix 2. And this one is gonna be Georgia's experience with mental health.
My experience with mental health.
We thought that if we gave a personal experience, it would kind of ground our reasoning for doing this.
Yeah.
If you like this video, please
Give it a thumbs up.
And if you want to see more on my channel,
subscribe to the channel.
And don't forget to
touch the bell end. By bell end, I meant the bell. That meant you get the notification.
The little ring, the toggle bell at the bottom of under my subscribe button. Is it? No, it'll be down there, won't it?
I don't know.
Okay, so Georgia's going to tell you about her experience with mental health. So she has, and still does, suffer from anxiety. And if you don't know what anxiety is, I don't actually know what anxiety is because I always get confused with the definition. So Georgia will tell you the definition.
Well, I think that similar to our first video that we did 5 minutes ago, that we did last week.
Don't point that out.
The video that we did last week talked about the definitions. This week on how I would define anxiety, so I would say it's very much tailored towards you. Different people find different things like anxious provoking. So like I see a lot of people criticise people like the Kardashians because they get anxiety about being famous. But in my opinion, I'm not going to criticise anyone that I've never been famous. So like I don't know if it's anxiety provoking to be famous. I don't know how to deal with that. And to be honest, I think it would make me really anxious. But it's things like that that kind of grate on me when people are like, they're so rich, they have such a good life, how could they ever feel anxious or depressed? And it's those kinds of people that don't understand the concept of mental health. But for sure, I think it's different depending on what sort of situation you're in. Anxiety for me, I would say, is like a physical and mental reaction, and it kind of just goes like this with like, so you're stressed, nervous, fear and panic, and they just kind of
squelch together.
That is how I would describe my anxiety. A squelch.
Good definition, good word.
A squelch of bad feelings. Anxiety presents itself in very different ways. So if you have anxiety and you don't feel any of the things that I just said, that doesn't mean that you're not got anxiety. If you do feel the things that I just said, but you don't think that you do have anxiety, it doesn't necessarily mean that you do. Like, I'm not a health professional, I don't know, but that's just what happens to me.
What kind of like physical and mental things do you go through when you're like having, is that like an anxiety attack or?
I used to have anxiety attacks, I don't anymore. Sometimes like it feels like you're drowning, or it feels like your blood is too heavy to be in your arms. Like I feel like my blood is too heavy to move my arms, that's what it feels like, for me anyway. Or like you become very hyper like and vigilant, and you sort of like see everything around you. Sometimes people say that I'm like an observant person, but it's probably just because I'm anxious.
Yeah. By the way, if you guys are wondering why I'm being quiet, it's because I purely have never like, I'm trying to get my head around what anxiety is, and plus I've not heard Georgia's story from like the details she's telling you. I know that she has anxiety, and I know like from reading her posts, I know like instances that where it comes about and what some of the feelings are, but I've never like known in detail what has happened.
Yeah. Hence
why I'm just listening. I am here and I'm aware and I'm listening and
I'm alive.
I'm thinking of questions. Is it like, I don't even know, like do you know where it could have, when did it start, and like do you know how it started?
Yeah. So I think all of my, well, I would say it's kind of surfaced, transpired around age 12 or 13. I probably formally got diagnosed 2 years ago, and I'm 19 now, so 17. And I've been on medication for like a year and a half. I used to be on propranolol, which is like a mild anti-anxiety, I'd say, but you can also use it for migraines and things like that. So yeah, about that, talking about stigma and expectations and things like that. When I first picked up my first prescription for propranolol, the person said, oh, you must get really bad migraines, and it just made me laugh that they just kind of like assumed that because I was there and I was like smiling and talking to them, that meant that I couldn't be taken like anti-anxiety pills because I was being friendly and I was being talkative. So why would I be on anti-anxiety pills? She must be.
The thing I don't like is the fact that like most adults think that don't understand. They're always like, I don't know how to get my words out. They're like, they have nothing to worry about. Why are all these kids so depressed? There's a lot more that you don't see in our lives than we put across. Like, we could be fine, but we could have there is so much in, like, for example, as students, I've got, there's a lot of anxiety about going out, how you look, how you do, how much work you have, what you eat, your diet, how you look. I just said how you look, how much exercise you're getting.
And it's also all comparative.
Exactly, yeah.
So like when adults or like other people say, you don't know stress because you've never worked. It's like, well, yeah, I've never worked. So like, how could I be anxious about working? Well, actually, I've had a job since I was 15, but still, like, I've never had like an adult job. So it's like, how could I actually be anxious about my adult job if I've never had it? The only things I have to be anxious about is my life. Do you know what I mean? When it's like, oh, well, you're happy, and it's like, well, if I've only, do you know what I mean?
What kind of stuff like do you get anxious about? Like, is it like just like, for example, meeting someone or going to uni or?
Yeah, I'm kind of used to going to uni now. In terms of things like that, I get very anxious about travel. I love traveling, like in terms of like being in my car, but I get anxious because there's no like escape. I can't like get myself home and things like that. It gets me really like I get anxious when I don't know what I'm going to have to eat. So if I don't know if it's going to make me throw up, basically, I get scared that food's going to make me really sick. And all of mine kind of sort of evolves around self-esteem. So any sort of situation, I'm literally so pale. That's fair. Any kind of situation that could mean that I would look silly or would lessen me as a person, impact my self-esteem, is something that I'd get anxious about. So I think mine is very much linked to my self-esteem and being a twin.
Well, and I know like you still get anxiety about like doing things, like for example in Amsterdam you were anxious about going to Amsterdam. Is it like, but the people were there? Was it the fact that it was something new and like going to?
I think for me it's the uncertainty. So like, I don't know how to describe it. I'd never been to Amsterdam before, but that didn't make me anxious because there are countries that I'd been to that I'd never been before, and I'd been fine about that. But I'd never eaten the food in Amsterdam. I didn't know whether that was going to make me sick. And it's small things like, are my like friends going to judge me for going to the toilet in a shared room that we share?
That was
and, like,
I was worried.
do you know
about
what I mean? And just things like that. And I know that's a normal thing to worry about. Normal.
Do you think you've like, has your anxiety gone down?
Yes.
A lot, or like?
In comparison to, I think it probably peaked during my A-levels, to the point where I really struggled to be in the sixth form room. Even like walking through it to get like a piece of paper I would find really hard. Or like sitting in assembly, like in the school hall, I would find that really, really hard when like the whole school sat in there. And things like that. Like, I used to be really sort of outgoing. Like, I used to sing in front of my school and like stuff like that, do plays and all of this stuff. But not really anymore. To be honest, I don't want to anymore. But like, I stopped because I was getting anxious and I thought like people were laughing at me and judging me. But yeah, no, it's definitely better.
Didn't know, or you probably don't know. Georgia does a lot of mental health work with the uni. What else do you do?
So I do some work like with the uni, kind of with the uni. So like I work with the disability team with the uni and kind of just like in open days, I was in a film talking about support at uni, trying to encourage disabled students to still come to uni basically, despite their problems or their impairments or anything like that.
So Jesus in lady form.
So I run my blog, that's quite a big help with a charity company in Sheffield called No Panic Sheffield, and they basically facilitate self-help groups. So it's like group therapy, but then like we're not actually trained therapists, so it's not like actual therapy, but we kind of just facilitate sort of ways to help yourself basically. So like, for example, last week I facilitated a session on art therapy, and I just kind of like showed an activity that you can do to help yourself like focus and calm yourself down when you're there. I think a big thing for me as well was understanding that it's not a bad thing if you like yourself. Like, I think throughout high school, like younger high school, like year 7 or whatever, you kind of think if you like yourself, you're seen as this like stuck up attention seeker that sort of wants to get attention or like loves themselves and all of this, and it's not true. It's not a bad thing to like yourself. And I think when I kind of realised that it didn't make me a bad person, if I actually thought I've done something good, then I'm allowed to appreciate.
There's a difference between being cocky and like self-centered, and being happy with what you're doing and who you are. I think that's a massive thing.
You have to love yourself 100%.
I think that's how you...
It's a big milestone.
You can be at the worst in your life, and you've got yourself to like lift up, and you kind of need to like focus on what's good about yourself and about your life, because that's a major thing that helped me as well. Like, I kind of focused on myself negatively a lot, and like evaluating whatever I did as a bad decision, or kept putting myself down for something I did, or just everything was like, it was a negative cloud over my head, like just dampening everything. But you kind of just need to pick yourself up and like give yourself a kick up the arse. You can't do that, but no, you can't. Physically you can't do that, but spiritually, is that the right word?
Yeah,
spiritually, you can give yourself a kick up the arse and tell yourself to go and not go and like get better, but just to like tell these negative thoughts to F off. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Just
even if it's saying it out loud, like sometimes it's hard to actually like get rid of them, but you can force yourself to speak. You can force yourself to say something that you're not thinking, sort of thing. So, and I think the more you say it, so if you, before you go to bed, you look in the mirror and say, I like myself. In your head, if you're thinking, I actually hate myself, but you continue just to say it, eventually, hopefully, you will.
And all these things like sound wishy-washy and like all self-centered and like bullshit, like soft things. But honestly, like, if you feel like the whole world is on top of you, anything is better than nothing. And honestly, like these like little things work.
It's normally the little things.
It's the same as like big things. Like if you're upset, all the little things will add to the hollow ground you've got. If you're happier, if you're happy, it's the same but with a happy hole. Fill the happy hole with happy thoughts and everything, and you'll make a flat ground. And if you fill it with loads, then you have a massive hill.
Yes.
Georgia's helped me quite a lot as well, like with my stuff, and I just want to say thank you, because I say it to her. I've said it to her, but I wanted to say it again, and I know she appreciates my thank you, but...
You're gonna make me cry.
Don't cry. She's a saint, I said, and she does quite a lot of work, and...
I don't know that...
You do a lot.
Yeah, but I wasn't expecting to cry. Come and do these YouTube videos.
Come and cry on camera. I've done it, it's fine. Release your...
inner tears.
Yeah. We hope you enjoyed Appendix
2.
Experiences with mental health.
Yes.
And next week, we'll hopefully be out of these clothes. Because we've not showered for a week, you know.
We wore these clothes.
For a week straight.
For a week.
Just to make this video.
We needed to keep it consistent for you guys, so...
And if you're lucky, we might even be in these clothes for the next 2 videos.
Maybe.
Maybe, if we feel like we don't want to wash for another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But other than that, we hope you've enjoyed this video. Georgia hopes, and I hope as well, you've
I do
hope. Appreciated her opening up. Not opening, like, you do that anyway, so...
yeah, I didn't feel like I opened up, but I guess I did.
Georgia's,
I'm quite an open person. I tell everyone everything. It's really bad, actually.
So it's not really opening up.
I need to stop that. I mean, I'm not going to, but...
Be yourself.
Yeah.
So...
You do you.
2 is done. Tick. So we shall see you next week, and next week's one is kind of a bit of a illiterate title.
Yes.
And it's kind of a bit more dark.
Yeah.
Serious, more serious.
Yeah, we'll try not to make it sad.
We'll see you in next week's video, but till then...
Till then, bye.